No room left for Mexico or for Canada. No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
The tariffs Trump was mentioning in that video are now officially in force, and things are about to get painful. Not for the other countries, but for us. Prepare to pay more for a wide variety of goods from Mexico, Canada, and China, which actually it constitutes a lot of imported goods, things that we buy. It's about 40% of the value of all the goods that the US imported last year. So, I mean, you got fresh produce. So get ready to pay more at the supermarket. Okay, you got cars, you got car parts. So hopefully you're not planning on buying a car, electronics, phones, computers. That's among the top goods the US imports from these three countries that will now face tariffs between 20 to 25%. So that's disastrous. Okay. Now, it's a lot of stuff. These three countries are our biggest trading partners. And Donald Trump is doing them dirty. Okay. Real dirty.
Sexual anarchy?
No, no, not in that way, but still, it's really bad. Look, the only goods that will not face a 25% tariff from Canada are things that are energy related, because of course, right? That's crude oil. That's one of the top goods the U.S. imports from Canada. They will be subject to a 10% tax, which of course we will end up paying anyway, because we're going to be bearing the cost of all this, of this ridiculous trade war that none of us wanted. Now, in response, of course, Canada has just decided, you know what? It's war. It's war. Now we're going to impose our own 25% tariffs on about $30 billion worth of U.S. products. In fact, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said this, quote, "Canada will not let this unjustified decision go unanswered." I know I should have a Justin Trudeau voice, but I don't. Our tariffs will remain in place until the U.S. trade action is withdrawn. And should U.S. tariffs not cease, we are in active and ongoing discussions with provinces and territories to pursue several non-tariff measures. While we urge the U.S. administration to reconsider their tariffs, Canada remains firm in standing up for our economy, our jobs, our workers, and for a fair deal. Okay. Now, he added, because of the tariffs imposed by the U.S., Americans will pay more for groceries, gas, and cars, and potentially lose thousands of jobs. Tariffs will disrupt an incredibly successful trading relationship. They will violate the very trade agreement that was negotiated by President Trump in his last term. You know what? That is something that does not get brought up enough. And that's partly my fault for not bringing it up enough, but it's not just me. It's a lot of other people, okay, that report, mainly mainstream media, okay? This was Donald Trump's own trade deal, okay? He negotiated this back during his first administration. And now he's like, oh, what a terrible deal. We're getting screwed over on trade. They're taking advantage of us massively. Bro, you negotiated it. If anything, it would be your mess. Okay, why did you negotiate a terrible deal that takes advantage of us? What the hell, man? What's wrong with you? Now, of course, he's going to claim that it's not because it's a terrible deal, because he changes his opinion on things based on nothing and whenever the hell he feels like it. Okay. Now he's saying, well, the reason that we got to do the tariffs is because of the all that Canadian fentanyl.
Vast amounts of fentanyl have poured into our country from Mexico, and as you know, also from China, where it goes to Mexico and goes to Canada. And China also had an additional 10, so it's 10 plus 10. And it comes in from Canada and it comes in from Mexico, and that's a very important thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes in from Canada. It comes in from Mexico. It comes in from China. And it's going to Canada. Wait, what? Okay. No, this is not a real problem, okay? See, in reality, less than 1% of the fentanyl intercepted at the US border came from Canada. Okay? In fact, I think one of the problems here is that we're sending too much to Canada. Okay? But not only that, okay, overdoses from fentanyl have dropped dramatically in the last year. Okay? Down nearly 24% since 2023, according to the latest data from the CDC. Okay? And so, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, fentanyl. It's because of the fentanyl. No, this is because you're stupid. Okay. Now that's Canada. There's only one country that we're putting these ridiculous tariffs on. No, we've got Mexico. Now, when it comes to Mexico, President Claudia Sheinbaum just announced that her country too would retaliate with 25% tariffs on U.S. goods. Oops. She said, "There is no motive or reason nor justification that supports this decision that will affect our people and our nations." But, Jeff, what about the fentanyl? We got to stop the fentanyl. And we got to stop the immigration, right? Here's the thing. Data from U.S. Customs and Border Protection shows that fentanyl seizures at the U.S.-Mexico border have dropped by roughly 50% in recent months. So these countries, both Canada and Mexico, which, by the way, put more National Guard on their borders, okay, they have done what Donald Trump demanded, what he asked, and then he moved the goalpost. And so he still, slaps them with tariffs, okay? And look, I'm not someone who defends companies, all right? You know me, okay? I don't defend corporations. So this is going to be really weird for me, all right? But now Trump recently posted that, hey, if companies just move back to the United States, well, then there wouldn't be any tariffs. Now, yes, that would be true, okay? Now, one of the problems here is you can't just relocate everything in 30 days, all right? These are not magical factories, okay, that, can close up shop somewhere else and relocate overnight, okay? And look, unless they do, which you're likely not going to, then we're going to be stuck paying tariffs. So, and again, the government does not pay the tariffs. The importer pays the tariffs. And that's it. So, yeah, that means us. It's going to get passed down to the consumer. Now, that's not all. China announced its own countermeasures, which include a 10 to 15% tariff on agricultural goods. So this is going to hit the Trump farmers, okay? This includes wheat, corn, beef, and soybeans. China is the U.S.'s biggest buyer of these goods. So here comes the farm bailout. Now, here is Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Zhuan saying, quote, "If the United States persists in waging a tariff war, a trade war, or any other kind of war, the Chinese side will fight them to the bitter end." Great. Lovely. There is a reason why companies moved out of the U.S. Yes, for to try to pay low wages. Yeah, we know that's the reason. Now, that said, how did the markets react to all of this? Not good. Very, very bad. Line go down massively. The S&P 500 dropped nearly 2%. Earlier in the day, the Dow Jones, the Nikkei 225, all down. Boom, gone. Okay, it's going down. Volkswagen dropped by almost 4%, by about 5:45 yesterday, or I'm sorry, this morning. While Stellantis, the maker of Chrysler and Jeep, fell nearly 7%. Oops. And now the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now model showed negative GDP growth of about 3%. Negative 3%.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie.
Wow. In fact, Professor Jeremy Siegel, Emeritus of Finance at Wharton, y'all know who went to Wharton, okay, said, virtually all recent economic data has surprised to the downside, including jobless claims, which unexpectedly spiked above expectations. What's unexpected about that when he's firing the federal workforce? Okay. He said the weight of uncertainty and slowing growth suggests continued volatility. Volatility. And look, that's a result, yes, but I also think that might be the point. I think he wants to crash the U.S. economy. Okay, this is going to be one of those, you acquire a new company and then you load it up with debt, $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. Anybody? You do massive cuts of the workforce, and then you let it collapse. And while it's all falling down around you, you set yourself up with a golden parachute. Yeah, I think that's the point. And look, his billionaire buddies, by the way, they benefit too. They're going to buy up everything and then make even more money. And this is all while the rest of the country, a lot of his voters, by the way, suffer from extreme poverty because they're slashing the social safety net. Medicaid's going to lose $880 billion over the next 10 years. The SNAP program's going to lose $230 billion, okay, over the next 10 years. And so those safety nets, it ain't just people in the inner city that use those. No, it's a lot of red states, mostly red states, and a lot of people in rural America. You also have people, soldiers using them at commissaries. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurting as a result of that. And it all starts with Donald Trump's ridiculously dumb, unnecessary trade wars and complete lack of understanding and even wanting to understand basic economics, okay, and just hurtling us forward towards a complete and utter collapse. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.